Hello and welcome back to Dukascope TV. Now, urbanisation has taken place in Africa, but still the continent's population remains more rural than urban, raising the question as to whether renewable energy can really be viable here. Joining me in the studio to discuss is Kostis Tselenis from Quadia. Kostis, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, if we look at a recent report from the World Bank, it singled out Nigeria, which is Africa's largest oil producer, which lives in poverty, electricity poverty, second only to India. Now, this is a remarkable figure if you take into consideration the level of natural resources there, especially in terms of natural gas. Is it basically the infrastructure problems which are really prevalent here? Is access the main problem, would you say?
Indeed, this is a contradiction, and it's a contradiction of the many that we see in developing world countries. We need to focus over the next decades on two trends. The first is to shift into greener and cleaner energy sources. The second is to make energy access possible for larger groups of the population in the developing world. This would be extremely difficult if we focus on centralized energy sources. The reason for that being that centralized energy sources have a lot of cost in order to build the infrastructure. Renewable energy sources, solar energy, which is ideal for countries in Africa, as you mentioned before, is based on my opinion, the solution to be able to provide energy access. The conditions today for that very technology are ideal. The solar cost has gone down massively, and there are already many initiatives that are addressing the energy access market with renewable energy solutions.
Now, something else, the report by the World Bank, which I mentioned, it raised the level of pessimism as to whether or not sustainable energy will be available to all by 2030. What do you think of these goals? Are they really achievable? And do developed countries have some responsibility, if you like, to help in some way?
I believe that these goals might be too optimistic. We have seen that due to the recent financial crisis, this process has been slowed down. Nevertheless, we see a lot of activity right now as the markets are recovering, as investors are getting more and more interested in getting involved in the segment. The developed countries have definitely the responsibility. We know that energy access triggers economic growth. It's it's essential, if you wish, to economic development. So we do have a responsibility, but at the same time, this is also an opportunity. It's an opportunity for developed world investors, if you wish, for developed world companies to get involved in the segment. There are a lot of initiatives that can be both financially sustainable and profitable, and therefore generate even returns for the investors from the West.
Now, there have been some programmes. If we look at the Africa Renewable Energy Access Programme, which was launched in 2009, it's tried to meet these demands in a sustainable way, in a sustainable fashion. Do these programmes kind of scratch the surface in some way? What kind of impact are they having, would you say?
Such programs are very essential. They're very essential because they trigger the activity in this segment. They can create initiatives. They can promote initiatives in their early stages. But unfortunately, they're not enough. The capital that need to flow in such areas has to be very big. Therefore, we need the private initiative to match this public, intergovernmental, international organizations' initiatives in order to create scale and make a difference and create impact.
So what about in terms of impact investment? What role can that play in this sort of situation?
The role of the impact investment community is enormous for that segment. First, it's a key theme for impact investors, energy access, because energy access has an impact on education, health, economic development locally. I believe that the role of the impact investment community is unique right now because there are not necessarily other sources of capital. So they're the leaders in this process, they're taking the lead. But there are different ventures that can be supported, for-profit ventures, not-for-profit ventures. There is a variety of initiatives right now going on in the developing world in this very segment. And I think that the impact investment community can take a leading role in this process.
Okay, so that is very interesting. But what about in terms of Quadia then? How significant is this sector in terms of your portfolio?
So we're already invested in decentralized renewable energy production companies such as KKB in the developed world. Such solutions are not only necessary in the developing world but also on our side. At the same time, concerning Africa and the developing world, we are very involved in Sun Transfer. Sun Transfer is one of the companies that has been there for almost a decade in Ethiopia, Kenya, and the Philippines, providing solar energy access solutions to the rural areas in Africa and Asia. We believe it's a venture that has accumulated a lot of know-how over the years, and it's ready to take it to the next step, which is creating a financially sustainable, profitable venture. So we believe that besides the capital that's going to be needed from us and other investors, we will be actively involved in developing the company within its value chain, from sourcing the products to the distribution part. So such ventures are key, are essential to making this happen. We're also looking at the industry from a strategic perspective, and we believe that in the next couple of years, companies such as Sun Transfer will take off.
Fantastic, very interesting ventures. Kostis, it does seem a remarkable combination of opportunity and responsibility. Thank you very much for coming into the studio and talking it through with us today.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's all from Kostis and myself for the moment. Please do click back to Dukoscopy TV for many more exclusive interviews. Goodbye for now.